Welcome to the Operation Game Night podcast, episode 32.
Is it really happening?
My name is Travis Smith, and I'm here alone.
Oh,
Joining me from a room of friendship far away are my friends Clayton Gable and Jared Erickson. How are you doing, gentlemen?
We're doing great. Well, I mean, we're doing good, Travis. I don't want to ham it up too much because obviously it hurts to not be like the threesome that we should be. But
Trav. Okay, hear me out. There's going to be a couple days in Alabama where there's going to be a crossover for Joint Ops June. We might be able to sneak in a big boy special mission. I don't know if you know.
I was thinking about this the other day, and I was like, if I ship some games to Jared, he can learn them and have them on the table when we roll into Montgomery.
100%.
Yeah.
Or he can do like he likes to do and just wait to punch him when it's time to play it.
Perfect.
Just have Rodney going while we're punching him out. He's like, table setup, get out this character. All right, I'm going to start punching that guy out. I better get him out. Yeah.
Or I'll send you a bunch of games and I'll be like, these are the ones I want to play. And then I'll show up and it'll be Arnak on the table or
something like that. Yes.
Well, I'm glad to see you guys are having fun together. I cannot wait to hear about your epic game night and all the fun that you've been having together without me. Sad face. But we have a great show for you today. Today we're going to talk weeknight games that you break out on the weeknights. And originally it was supposed to be date night games, but we're talking weeknight games. Maybe you are on a date. Maybe you're.
We didn't want to be exclusive for couples only. You know, we want to
open it up.
Everybody can do a weeknight game.
Yeah.
You don't have to be in a relationship to enjoy a weeknight game.
Sometimes you need a bro date. Sometimes you just need a work date, like invite your coworkers out to a pub and you break out Skull or something. I like that.
Whoa.
Okay.
That's good.
As long as you file the appropriate paperwork with HR before you go on the workplace date. All right, but first we're going to debrief our week. We're going to hit our mission objective, and then we are going to go over the fence and talk about what we've been doing outside of board gaming. So, gentlemen, my odd couple, my two peas in a pod, tell me about your week in gaming.
You know, we'll build up to it. We'll build up to the epic game night. I'm going to start out with a debrief of last week. One of our esteemed listeners was curious about Mary's favorite games, and I said Castle of Burgundy, obviously, and then a close second is Cubitos. Mary didn't listen to the episode, so she had no idea that I said that. And just like clockwork, Tuesday rolled around. It's our couples game night. I say, what do you want to play? I was really wanting to play Agricola again because I had so much fun last week with that. She says, Castles of Burgundy. I said, that's at the Spanglers. She said, Cubitos. I was like, all right, we'll play Cubitos. So Cubitos is an awesome game. It came out in 2021 by AEG and designed by John D. Clare, the designer of Dead Reckoning.
Really?
Yes. Also the Cubitos designer. He's done a lot. He's done a lot of good games. But yeah, I think Cubitos Space Base is probably his most well-regarded design, but Cubitos came out. It's kind of faded. People don't really talk about it much anymore. It was kind of hot there for a little bit. It stayed hot in our house. So essentially, the art drew me in. You have this cheese and lederhosen on the cover. And really after that, it didn't matter what the game was. I was going to enjoy it. But you're racing around a track. It's just a race to the finish. And you're collecting all these colorful die that help you move around the track. So it's a dice pool building game. You start out with these gray die that maybe give you some coins if you roll them, maybe give you a couple feet. And then as you start getting these more powerful die, you get these combos where it's like if the white die rolls a cat face and you have a freaking blue die that's also on a llama face, you can move 6 spaces. So you can start drafting these die to, build these combos. And on your turn, you roll them out, and any of your hits that you get, so they show a face, you move them to your active pool. Once you have 3 dice in your active pool and you decide to keep rolling, so you're going to be rolling 9 to like 15 die every turn. So you roll those 10 die, maybe you get 3 hits. And if you choose to roll again, now if they all come up blanks, which will happen because I think most of them have 1 or 2 faces that have a symbol on it. So
Most of them are blank.
Yeah, most of the sides are blank. Yeah, so but you have a lot of die, so you're kind of like, oh man, do I want to push it and try and get my purple die hasn't hit yet, and that one is going to get me a lot of feet. So after you get 3 active and you roll and miss, then you bust and you move up this fan track, you get a reward, but you don't get to take the actions of your, moving and buying that turn. And essentially you just keep doing this, buying new dice, getting fistfuls of die, rolling them until somebody crosses the finish line first. And it's a fun time. I mean, Mary throttled me. I'm not convinced there wasn't foul play going on with what she was doing with her dice. Like all of a sudden I had like 3 new die and I look over and Mary's got this colorful handful of all these different die she's rolling. I'm like, where did these even come from? But I guess she was exploiting something that I wasn't. But yeah, it's a good game. It's kind of the warts have been showing the more I play it of just it's kind of fiddly for what it is. Like you have this like little sheet in front of you and you have, like I said, like maybe 10 dice and you're like rolling them and you're trying to keep track of, you have your roll zone, you have your active zone, you have your discard zone, you have your ready pool, and you're just trying to keep track of these dice and all these different pools, and then they all have the different abilities. So it gets kind of chaotic eventually, but at the end of the day, it's a lot of fun to just roll die, and these colorful dice make it even more fun. So it's one that we'll definitely keep around because it's great. Although it's not one that I'm always drawn to anymore, it's still a good game.
Do you roll them into the lid of the game?
No,
I feel like there's going to be dice going everywhere.
Oh, it's a scatter shot. It's madness out there, and but I mean, it's so cute. There are all these little cube animals.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So
I also like that on those boxes they have like the six box grid that shows you exactly what those dice have on them, so that you can know your chances of rolling what you want to roll. I think more games need references like that, so you're not like looking through the different colored die trying to figure out what it has on all the pips.
I'm definitely a statistician. I want to know what are my chances here.
You can do the math.
What's the expected value of this?
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, so we also played with the foul birds or something foul. There was an expansion called Foul something, and we played with that. It adds some new cards, some new abilities, so it was fun. It's an easy expansion to add in because it's just a couple more rules, but it doesn't really change the gameplay too much. Just more things to do and more different colored die to fill your hands up with. But yeah, that's Cubitos.
Nice.
Fun racing game. If you like deck building, pool building, and you like dice rolling, it's certainly worth checking out. But
I found it interesting that Mary never mind. Just keep going. I'm sorry.
No, carry on, Travis.
What was Mary doing? I'm always interested in Mary.
No, I was gonna say I was interested that Mary said that Cubitos was her second most active or her second favorite game. I hung up last week and I walked out and Rachel said, I heard that my favorite game is Splendor. And I said, oh yeah, we play Splendor all the time. That's the one you always ask to play. And she said, well, I mean, I guess that's one of my favorite games, but I think that what else did she say? Oh, she said Risk and Catan. Risk, wow. she has a special place in her heart for Risk because she has quadruplet.
Yeah.
She has quadruplet brothers and they love playing Risk together, and it's like super tense, great moments at the table. And then
quadruplet I think I did know this, but this is coming to my attention again. They're younger or older than her?
They're younger. So when I first met her, when I first met her, we would go over, and they're all in like high school. It was like a high school sleepover every single night when we were at her house because they're like playing foosball, they're playing video games, they're playing board games. Yeah, it was great.
That's incredible.
What turkeys? Yeah. Well, anyway,
I just wanted to say, point of order: we need to get our wives on this podcast because I feel like they might need to come correct the story. Maybe we've been leading the listener astray. I don't know if
I think we've spoken in overly generous terms about this.
We've
overstated their willingness to play games for sure.
Yeah,
that's true. I mean, there is sometimes too when I'm like, Adri, listen to this part of the podcast where I talk about you, and then like maybe I turn around to grab Gemma or something like that, and then I go turn around, and then she's gone. She's not even listening. There's my sad phone just playing Operation Game Night to the void. So. We might need to get him on here.
Yeah, we should.
Mary made
a voice appearance one time, but
that's true. Yeah, that is true.
She didn't set the record straight.
That's right.
On what
small box game.
Yeah. So the last thing about this, I hate teaching this game to new people just because of the different role zones. Like for whatever reason, it's just so complicated to tell people because it requires a lot of discipline. To know when you have dice in your roll zone and they're active, and then you bust, you have to move those active die to your discard zone, and then you can choose to move dice from your roll zone to your discard zone, but you can't ever move dice from your discard zone to your ready zone unless the ready zone's empty. And it's just like, it feels like I'm like, just do what you want. Like I just add the dice. I don't care because it just is like a little fiddly system.
I feel like there's an opportunity here for like electronic bowls. Like you can put the dice in the bowl and maybe like they're green if they're ready to go. I don't know. Is this going a little too far? Maybe we can get AI on this. I don't know.
Talk to your buddy Grok.
Yeah, I'll talk to Grok. Let me put Grok on the case. We'll see.
Yeah. And that's it for my, debrief of my game with Mary this week. But we also did.
Wait, I do have other before we get into the last night's board game.
Okay, what do you want to debrief? I asked you before we start the show so I can have pictures pulled up.
Well, just briefly, mention Mike Leland came. He was still out there in Alabama. I busted out Lost Ruins of Arnak, and the dude almost took me down. We pulled out my BGA. I have 413 plays of Arnak, and that still does not keep me immune to someone who's played it twice to come in and whack me. The only way I won is like the very end. He had like 10 compasses going into the last round. The very end, he did get his eyeglass to the very top row.
Yeah.
But his booklet was lagging. He didn't know how to get the booklet up. He had like 10 compasses, and so he was constrained to just the blue cards. So I think we did talk about Arnak many moons ago. So if you want to learn about Arnak, please go back to learn what the hell I'm talking about. The eyeglass, compass, blue cards, all that. Anyways, had a lot of fun doing that one. Also want to just a quick gripe. Okay. I was on BGA. I was on Delta. Okay. Delta does free Wi-Fi for all customers. You just get on there. I'm on Wi-Fi. Oh, great opportunity to get in a quick Terraforming Mars. I naively chose a fast live play of Terraforming Mars. Well, I was 20 seconds late on choosing which card to use, and they booted me.
Ooh.
And my what is it called? The ELO or like my
reputation, karma.
My karma went down 10 points. Now people don't want to play with me because
it's going to take a while to repair your reputation, man.
So
that's no joke. I lost internet access for a while. I think we went on a trip or something and completely lost all of my games, got booted from all of them, and my reputation suffered so bad. I went all the way down to like 70 karma, and it took me It probably took me 4 or 5 months to get that karma back up,
Whoa.
because for every game that you complete, you go up like 1% karma. And so it took me a while to dig myself out of that hole, but yeah, it's brutal.
Maybe I should write like a strongly worded email to the BGA admins, like, I couldn't help it, please. I think I will recover. Yeah, I'll recover. I'll be fine. But let's just say that's just setting the scene. Okay, I was a little low, going in, and then I land in the most glorious. I swear, I said it multiple times. I think this is heaven. The mecca of board gaming is here, Colorado Springs.
Absolutely, don't look like that.
What
German boy.
Hey, you know what we're talking about. You have felt the magic here. In
Clay's basement.
Yes, I don't know if did you have this when Travis was around?
Travis was an upstairs gamer with me.
Yeah.
Once we moved it downstairs, it got a little rowdy, and Clay did have his spreadsheet out. He's got a big screen TV down here in the basement. He made sure that the schedule was up. Okay. Everyone was required to. So it was DoorDash roulette. So everyone needed to make sure the DoorDashes were delivered between 5 and 5:30. No, 5 and 5:15. So then we can finish eating by 5:30.
No, we were supposed to be starting gaming at 6:30.
Listen to the man.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No.
You know the schedule better than me.
Yeah. Gaming was supposed to start at 6:30. We got 7 minutes behind it. We never made it back up.
I went and got a slice 420 Parmesan pizza, chicken Parmesan pizza.
Okay.
Did you ever have slice 420 when you were?
No, I had Walter's 303, which is far superior.
Dude, well, I'm still here for 5 more days, so I might have to hit up a little bit of Walter's.
Yeah.
Anyways, food, top notch. Company, top notch. I did have to ride in the trunk of Carlin's Mazda because there wasn't enough seats. We're staying at the Olives. They live down the road. They do not live in Oak Valley Ranch, the mecca of
not OVR proper
board gaming. But am I gonna?
Would you like to dive?
I would like to dive into
all right.
Inca Gold.
Let's talk about it.
Was that the first round?
That was the first round.
So he broke it up into separate rounds. Okay, this is the first schedule. We had 2 tables. On my table, we're playing Inca Gold. So push your luck. This one's the one that Mary. She's a daredevil. She goes deep as far as she can go. She doesn't care how many little hazards start coming her way. Because once 2 hazards show up, the cave collapses in. No more rubies for anybody. But you can pull out, take your rubies that are available at that time, and you get the storm. You bank them. But then the people who stay in the tunnel, and you're going deeper and deeper, you can keep getting more and more rubies, but you're seeing more and more hazards. Once you see the two of the same hazards, the thing collapses. No one gets anything. So if you hightailed it out of there early, you at least got something. So of course, I don't think there was any times where we backed out and it didn't collapse. Maybe once or twice. I think I got once or twice.
Yeah.
At least twice. But anyways, so the sweet thing is there was a time or two where it was just me and Scott. So there's only 2 people. So now as you're going down in the tunnel, you're splitting how much rubies are coming out. Let's say there's a card that has 15. And if there's still 5 people that are going in the tunnel, that 15 gold has to get split between those 5 players. So each person gets 3 rubies. But let's just say there's just me and Scott. Now we get to keep 7 between the 2 of us. So big returns there when there's just you 2 going down into the tunnel by yourself. And then Scott left and it was just me.
Yeah.
So here I am just freaking
going
wild on the rubies. So I had a blast with Inca Gold here. There are other, like as the game progresses, there's these gold cards that get added to the deck. And if you leave the tunnel and you're the only one who leaves, during that time, and there is a gold card that has been shown face up, and you're the only person that left that round, you can take that gold card, and it's worth points at the end. But Clay was the one who always shuffled them, and they were never seen. I don't know where they were. I think he kept them up his sleeve.
It was a weird situation.
Lots of hazards.
Yeah. I mean, at round 4, it's 5 rounds. Round 4, I think we drew
fire, or spider.
Yeah, just right out the gate. Nope. Instantly.
Everyone died.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was interesting like that. And then the gold cards didn't really come out. So you never know. It's a 20-minute game. It can be a little random, but it's a lot of fun. And those timing considerations of like, I want to leave, but I know Spanky's going to leave too. And then I'm going to have to split all the stuff when I leave with him. So you want to try and leave when it's just you, but you also get nervous about the potential of losing everything you've collected so far.
Yeah.
It's a clever little game.
Yeah, maybe I didn't explain it very well too, because as you're splitting the riches, as you're going deeper, whatever's the remainder, whatever can't be split evening amongst you, gets left along the trail. And if you leave, you get to swipe it up as you leave the cave. So, but if multiple people also leave the tunnel at the same time, you have to split whatever's remainders on the floor. So that the mechanics of it are, you have a go further or a leave the tunnel card, and that's it. That's the only decisions. Do I go deeper or do I leave? So it's very simple mechanics, but the decisions could be very difficult. You don't know.
What year did you say that this was published?
Well, it was published a little while ago. This is actually designed by, I think, the Ticket to Ride guy, maybe?
Oh.
Alan R. Moon and Bruno Faduti. 2005.
2005, man.
Yeah, some of these photos look like there's probably been quite a few expansions to this thing, right?
Yeah, just new additions. I think they've.
Yeah. I was going to say that cover that you were showing, you could have told me that was published in like 93 and I would have believed it, but
it's also called, I think it's also come out as Diamant. I think that's what Yellow calls it in their line, but yeah, Incan Gold by Eagle Griffin.
I like the color scheme like Scooby-Doo in this picture.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's
Daphne and
Velma.
But it is in the Eagle Griffin small box line of games. So it sits on the shelf next to For Sale, and they look beautiful together. You see that, Jared? See how it's sitting?
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Yeah, they're meant to be
Botswana between them, huh?
Yeah, I should put
just like the two of you. Just like the two of you, meant to be next to each other.
Wow.
Wow.
Stop.
Jeez.
All right, so how many people were at this epic game night?
Well,
35, 50, like
11. Well,
there's children
too, and
Were
the children playing games? Because they only count if you're playing games.
No.
Well, no, they were around.
Okay.
They were there.
They were playing their own games.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was 11 adults and 5 kids.
5 kids.
5.
Wow.
Yeah. So
it was 2 tables running.
Yes. Let me take you through the rundown of just the games that we're playing, and then we'll talk about our thoughts on the whole thing.
Yeah.
So obviously, table 1, the premier table, we were playing Incan Gold in the first block, 637. The other table, run by Mary reluctantly, was playing Flip 7, and reports are they had a good time on that.
They seemed happy.
Yeah, they seemed like they had a good time.
Yeah.
And so as we ramped up into the 7 o'clock hour, we stepped it up a little bit. We went from our little light card games and push your luck into a Camel Up game on table 1 and a game of MLEM on table 2.
Okay.
Yeah. So I ran the Camel Ups, and so we did speak about this a little bit previously. I changed the if you go to drop a die, I went ahead and said, hey, you do that, you push the game along, you get 2 gold instead of 1. See if that incentivizes it. And I was like, hey guys, what do you guys think? And everyone was like, I don't know what you're talking about. So the feedback was not wasn't like groundbreaking.
Yeah.
I personally felt like it was good. Tyler, who's played a couple more times than the other people, was like, yeah, there's plenty of times where I'm like, if I take that card, yeah, I could get 1 point, but obviously I'm going to roll the die because I get 2. Like it is like patently better to roll the die than to take a betting tile that's only going to get you 1 point. And that just makes it happen quicker. It literally makes the game go quicker, which I like.
Yeah.
I want more game now. So
yeah. So after those 2 games in the 7-8 o'clock hour, we got a little behind because although Jared says that his new rule made it quicker, the Camel Up table was moving pretty slow. I think that wrapped up at 8:17 on the dot.
Adri was part of my board, and she likes to, she's more of a touchy-feely.
She's a gabber.
Likes to know how it's going, wants to know how you feel. She also really likes the speed up, the slow down tiles. I don't know what the technical term for those are.
Like the cheers and the distractions or whatever.
Oh, yeah. She's all about those. And then she left halfway through and Clay came in. So Clay actually played both games.
Yeah.
So
MLEM finished up pretty quick. I look over and I'm seeing the saddest thing over the Camel Up table. Everybody's talking. Nobody's gaming. I was like, hey, do we need an adult over here to get this thing going? And so, we got it sped up, but we still got behind the 8 ball.
Yeah.
And then in the 8 o'clock hour, a lot of the spouses, they had enough of the games. So it was down to 6 players.
Mm-hmm.
So we took that opportunity to dive into 7 Wonders, the OG.
Yes.
Nice.
Boom. Because Carlin still has that, and she always is eager for a chance to play it. Great group to play it with. And then after that, we played, do you remember this?
Zoo Vadis.
Yeah, we played Zoo Vadis.
Get out of here.
I was trying to make Jared see his mistakes. And spoiler alert, I don't think he regrets choosing Dune over Zoo Vadis in our
So
pitch.
I did talk with him a little bit about it. Yeah, my attention span was not really there. I woke up at 2:50 Colorado time to get here, to come to the mecca of board gaming.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So my attention really wasn't there. There was soju around here. Okay. We've talked about this. I was thinking maybe the game was a little too complicated for me at that moment. Okay. I didn't quite understand the social aspects of it. I was like, I have these hyenas. Where do I put them? That's as far as I was thinking. And I'm like, oh, there's an open space. Let me just put that one there. Oh, there's an open space. Put that in there. And they're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I don't really know. And they're like, that's obvious. And so, yeah, I don't know. Maybe if I had a cooler head, maybe right off the bat, maybe we start that one at the first of the night.
Yeah.
Because I know where you're coming. Your angle for me for Zoo Vadis is bean trading, but it's an asymmetrical bean trading because each character has a different, aspect or action that you're trading away. In beans, it's literally like, I got beans, you got beans, let's do this.
Sure.
Zoo Vadis is like, I have a skill that you need this skill.
Yeah.
No one else can give this skill to you. In beans, everybody's got black beans. Everyone's got green beans. Okay. So I think maybe give me another chance at it.
Yeah. But from my perspective, I thought mistakenly, clearly, that game was a simple enough game and the right type of game to play at the end of the night after everybody's had a few drinks.
Sure.
You just want to talk smack and negotiate and try and get to the end. That was my thought process. It didn't play out like that. It was more of a bummer, really. But
the voting part is weird to me too. Like,
you gotta get votes to leave. I mean,
I know
you're trying to be the star exhibit animal.
So can I have you guys put a pin in Zoo Vadis for me? Because I'm going to bring it up in just a minute. But yeah, just put a pin in Zoo Vadis and remember this discussion. But continue with your epic game night.
Yeah. So overall, what were your thoughts? Highs, lows?
Well, obviously the high was coming here. Honestly, lots of emotions coming back to Colorado Springs. Clay is leaving where honestly I consider home. Colorado Springs has been really good to me and my family. I want to come back here and retire. Definitely a high seeing all my best friends here in one spot. Minus a couple people. Sorry about it.
Continue.
Damn. Low spot was probably Slice 420 showing up 20 minutes late. I mean, that
not having Travis there. Not having Travis there.
Not having Travis there.
It's right there.
Oh my gosh. I don't know how do you improve what you got going on down here? Clay's got a great setup down here. If you can replicate this at your next location in Pennsylvania, that's great. I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can do that here. He's got a great little spot. I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah.
Tough to do.
Well, here's my opinion.
Yeah.
I felt like the games paled. Like it was almost, I don't know. It was just so exciting seeing everybody again that it felt like the games were almost the low part of. They like got in the way of the evening.
Wow.
I had fun, but as much as I hate to say it, like it just felt like, amidst all the excitement, maybe that wasn't the right time to try and play 8 different games. It was tough to corral.
They were very light games.
Yeah,
though. I feel like I was still able to, mix it up.
Yeah. I felt my favorite game of the night was Seven Wonders. I thought that was
a lot of fun.
Yeah. That game just still impresses me with how quick it is, and at 6 players to play that game, it was like 30-40 minutes. It's an awesome one.
And you're not really dealing with first timers here. I mean, we got some definite strong players that like you can throw 8 games at them in a night and they can handle them. So like I wouldn't critique you on less games, different games. Honestly, I would like to have seen spots, but actually spots came out because they wanted to see Butthole Bert.
I'm telling you, he's the best. He is the best.
Yes.
He's the best.
So Spots did make appearance.
Yeah. Scott just listens to the podcast, so he didn't get to see the visuals.
Yeah.
And he was
curious. He wanted to see Lil Beth and Butthole Bert and Honcho. So
which one was his favorite?
But Bitsy with the nips.
Oh yeah,
Bitsy.
I can't remember.
Yeah, it might have been
the double sixes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a good night.
It was a good night. I stress about it. I really wanted to make sure everybody had something for their taste and could have a good time. And
I know.
It just goes to show you. It just goes to show you that the most important thing about hosting a game night is just getting people together. Like, while we do love to cram as many games in as possible because we love our games, it's good to just let the night breathe a little bit, let people reconnect, especially when you haven't seen them in a while. So when
I gave everybody an hour and a half social.
That was in the schedule.
Yeah.
Well, you should have talked when it was on the schedule.
Yeah, I was under the impression that everybody would be done catching up by 6:30. And then we could
game one over. You have 5 minutes to talk, grab a snack, grab a drink, use the restroom. This is your conversation time.
The conversations, if they must continue, please continue online.
Yep. He's got a steam whistle that he blows when it's game time.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Hey.
Operation Game Night steam whistles to start your games on time.
I was really excited about this because I haven't had a big game night like this in a while. It's just been like couples, like 2 extra players here and there having a game night, playing a couple games. So this was the first big, like more than 10 people game night in a long time. And it might be the last for a long time. I don't know, what it's going to be like in Pennsylvania when we move there. So, it was good. It was good.
Well, when Travis comes up to DC and you come down to DC, I don't know, let's say October.
Perfect.
Does that sound good?
All right, deal.
Let's do it.
Bet.
All right.
Anything
Travis.
else?
I think
my turn.
I think it's Travis's turn.
I think we'll let you talk, I guess.
35 minutes into the podcast, we'll let him talk.
Yeah. Go ahead, Travis. What do you want?
Okay. So first things first. I have a procurement to show you. This is something that I had backed a long time ago, and I want to show this to you. I'm going to give you a hint, and you can see if you know the game.
Is this Zoo Vadis? What is that?
It's
a cock rooster tail. What is this?
Show me more of a hint. Okay, that's a big wooden piece with a 7 and a crown. Looking at the back of it, 7 Wonders.
It's not 7 Wonders, but it is wonderful and way bigger than I ever anticipated. Look at this bad boy.
Oh,
Ready, Set,
my
Bet?
God, I didn't even know that existed, Travis.
Holy smokes.
So they did a Ready, Set, Bet. AEG did a Ready, Set, Bet reprint. And
oh my gosh.
This is the big boy edition.
For the listener, Travis is holding what appears to be a box big enough to hold a, small child in.
Yeah. This thing's probably like 3+ feet across, maybe a foot and a half tall. I'm definitely going to do an unboxing video of this thing because it's got like neoprene mats and nice chips and stuff.
Wow.
Yes. And, I'm super excited about that. Definitely going to bust that out at the next game night.
Wow.
Dang.
So that was my first debrief.
Yes.
Epic procurement that I was not expecting to show up. Second is I have a little bit of a different take. This is going to be kind of a pre-brief / COA selection.
Oh.
I have a game night with people that I don't know all that well tomorrow. Okay. They have seen my collection. I sent them a picture of my collection. They're like, holy crap, you have so many games. They have a handful of games, and I want you to tell me what you think I should bring to this game night based on the games that they already own. Okay,
that's good. Maybe
so let's start. Yeah,
this could do.
I'm okay with skipping weeknight games. Here we go. Catan.
Okay.
Catan. Pretty basic, right? Everyone's played Catan. Azul. Easy. Super lightweight. Sagrada. Okay. A little bit of a niche thing. Ticket to Ride Europe. Everdell. So they know worker placement. Wingspan. Pretty simple. Spirit Island.
Oh, no way.
Getting a little crunchier.
Do they play these?
They have played them, yeah.
Okay.
I think they've played all of them, actually.
Wow. All right. I mean, if they played Spirit Island, I don't know what we're talking about because that was the hardest game I've ever played.
I'm convinced it can't be beat.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's where it gets weird. Arc Nova.
Oh.
7 Wonders Duel.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Onitama. Do you know this one, Clay?
Yeah. It's like chess kind of. Just an abstract game.
Q-Birds by Pandasaurus.
Yeah.
Sail. They have Sail. Horrified. Captain is Dead. Santorini. Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion.
Whoa.
Bananagrams, and then a whole bunch of small box games to include Cat in the Box, Sequoia, some all-play games, Fox in the Forest, etc.
I mean, these people sound like gamers. Like they got quite a collection.
So I think they're serious about it, and they want to play something different. I'm kind of lost based on what games they already have as to what I should bring from my collection. What do you guys think?
They sound like freaking Omni gamers to me.
Yeah.
I would expose them to something new because they seem like people that enjoy a variety of games. I didn't hear any Knizias in there. Maybe you could throw out a nice Ra or.
How many people are we talking? It's four total?
4.
Yeah.
So, and I wanted to put a pin in Zoo Vadis because Zoo Vadis was the one that came to mind. Like, oh, maybe I should bring that. That might be something cool.
Don't
but
do that.
I don't know them well enough to like start arguing with them and trying to like, finagle positions.
I was pumping a few of these into Grok. Okay. You already said Wingspan. I didn't slip that one in. It said Wingspan.
Yep.
What about Scythe?
Do you have Scythe?
I do have Scythe. I have all the expansions for Scythe.
I like Scythe because you get the worker placement feel, but then your Tableau building, I love building the engine and interactions. I don't know how much they like the fight.
Row.
There's a lot of
that's a good one.
Resources and
that
stuff.
might be ambitious.
Yeah, I'm also worried about the teach because we're showing up. I got to teach this and be ready to go. We're starting at like 5 p.m., which isn't super late, but we also have a small child in the mix that needs a bedtime. So,
well, why don't you hit him with the freaking Ireland Scotland game?
Oh, Rebirth.
Yeah, Rebirth was definitely up there.
I didn't hear any Knizia games. I would bring Ra, Rebirth,
River of Gold.
Do you have River?
I don't have River of Gold.
Oh, that's a good one.
Dang.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll go with Ra.
I think they would appreciate an exposure to something they haven't played. Like sure, you could play another abstract game, but it sounds like they kind of already have some games they like in that genre. They got Sagrada, Zul, Onitama. So
hit them with another Stonemeyer Tapestry.
Ooh,
I don't have Tapestry either.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
I was also kind of wondering, like, I don't really know these two people all that well. I just know that they play games a lot together, like as a couple. And Rachel and I play games a fair amount together. And that's kind of a weird dynamic. Do you play like a 2v2 type game? Do you play like a free for all? Do you? I don't know what their dynamic is like.
20.
Yeah.
2200. Oh
yeah. Arcs, maybe Arcs.
No, too much.
That's too heavy.
Don't get yourself in over your head here, Travis. You do have a baby. I don't want to see this go south. Pick something you know it well, it's going to be good, and it's going to have a pretty solid end time.
I like the idea of, just hear me out here. Hit him with a Camel Up and finish him off with a Rebirth. I feel like that's an easy night. It's a fun party game to get them warmed up. Rebirth, easy Knizia, pick and play. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For the win. And what's for dessert?
Bring a little card game to settle things down at the end.
There could be
something to cool off at the end of the night.
Yeah.
But really, what are you guys feeding? What's the food?
Taco night. We're doing tacos. They're making the tacos. I think we're bringing a couple sides. So I grilled a little bit of corn. Gonna make some elote tomorrow.
Elote?
Yeah. You already know what it is. Come on.
Birds of a feather.
We need this guy back in the States, man.
Gosh, get him over here.
For real. So
he's on my Google Calendar.
Yeah,
I know when he's coming.
Yeah,
he's coming.
Absolutely.
He's coming. And
my show update. Corn. I'm gonna call you the second I land in Baltimore. Start the countdown. All right. Should we just go over the fence? Should we just forego the mission objective today?
I mean, well. So what the mission objective was weekday games.
Yeah.
Weeknight games.
Well, night. Yeah. But I had a great story to tell about weekday games.
All right. Let's hear.
And it kind of ties back into the mecca of board game.
Okay.
Board gaming here. And it all goes back to Big Boy Game Night. When I think of because I don't have the same kind of gaming relationship that you guys have with your spouses. So when I think of weeknight weeknight gaming, I think of playing BGA by myself against randos.
Yep.
So that's like any game can be a weeknight game for me. But when I
Yeah.
think of what do I really love, I think back to our big boy game nights, where when me and Travis, Clay he was an exec too, but me and Travis were big boy execs.
Oh,
Yeah.
We were handling Air Force Academy level issues.
You think it was easy dealing with Travis always telling me what to do and that I didn't review these OPRs well enough?
Yeah.
Yep.
I know.
Fix yourself.
But I did enjoy on Thursday nights. We're having a big boy game night coming up. And instead of Travis sending me something on Teams about like, hey, our bosses are pissed at each other about this thing. What are we going to do about it? He's like, I'm so excited to play this game with you. And I'm like, it just relieved like so much stress about being at work. And I'm like,
Oh yeah.
my gosh, like, so that's what I just want to tell that story about. Like, weekday gaming is kind of like I tie it to like my friends that can alleviate stress during the week.
Yeah.
And I just want to say thank you to you, Travis, for being that friend for weekday gaming. But that's like all I really could offer to the main objective, because my weekday gamings are Feast for Odin, and it's intense. Okay. I hit it hard with the randos on the BGAs.
You're wild with the randos, man.
See, I think we all have like kind of a different perspective, right? Like Jared, you play mainly online games. If I'm gonna break out a game during the week, especially now that we have a youngin here, like our night consists of we come home, we make dinner, we wash bottles, we do bedtime, and then we go to sleep. Like that's it.
Yeah.
And so if I'm gonna sneak in a game, it's gonna be like a quick card game, either by myself or like maybe we'll play Jaipur or something quick that we both know, something that takes like 30 minutes or less while we have a show on in the background or something. And, gone are the days of the long 3-hour game nights where we're like, all right, one more turn, one more round, one more game. And we're pushing till 10:30 on a Thursday night. You got to get up early tomorrow, Friday, go to work. So yeah. Go ahead, Clay. You have the best weeknight schedule. I mean, you have Wine Wednesdays and Game Night Thursdays and weekend game nights. And
I haven't played a game night weeknight with somebody besides Mary since you guys left, And Jared just reminded me of that. I'm like, man, that was awesome. Like it was so good to have something to look forward to in the week. I feel like a lot of times you just trudge through the week with nothing to look forward to, just waiting for the weekend. And even to have like one thing that you're looking forward to in the middle of the week, like, yeah, when I see my friends, we're going to play this game I've really been wanting to play. And I love playing games with Mary, but like, it's always going to be what she wants to play most of the time. And and if I do somehow get my way on a weeknight game with Mary, I owe her a lot. There's a lot of dishes being done. I'm having to vacuum, not just the middles. I'm vacuuming the edges of stuff.
Not just
might have to pick up something and vacuum underneath it. Damn.
I didn't know you could do that. Just the middles?
I usually just vacuum the middles.
Yeah.
That's where everybody's at. Every corner, every time.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
But I was also going to say, shout out to the ladies who let us do the big boy game nights.
Yeah,
that's true.
At that point, if we rewind back to 2021, 2022, before Gwen and Jemmy, like Mary did have to handle the two hellions, upstairs. So. Shout out to Mare again for handling them, so we could go a little crazy.
I just feel, I feel invigorated right now. Like I want to start forcing myself to do things on weeknights again. Yeah, because I've just like become resigned to the fact that like weeknights, kids go to bed 7:30. We watch an episode of The Sopranos. We go to bed
Yeah.
and then I'm just like, hey, maybe we got game night on Friday. Like, I'll look forward to that. I can do fun things during the week. Why not?
Right. We're still young.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe this is going to help me too in a potentially tough job coming up. If I have something fun to look forward to on let's say even a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Because, I'm also work for the weekend kind of guy, and maybe a Tuesday night game, but then we're dislocated again. So how do we three here? We're going to have to go online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be easy.
Which is my expertise.
Yeah.
We
And
should
you got Cole in DC.
Oh, yeah.
Cole was always down for a weeknight game night.
That's true.
He never fussed. I look at him as somebody that would have been like, I don't know. He had tough jobs and he got up early and he would come over and he didn't complain very much.
Yeah.
And I was complaining. It was at my house. I didn't. I was like, this is too late.
Yeah, Clay, we had to do it at your house. You realize that was kind of like your stipulations.
Yeah, I mean, I had the kids at the time.
It's true. Having kids now makes me appreciate that just so much more. Because Gabriel was invited to the big boy in this party last night.
Yeah,
he did graciously call me and Adrian. He was like, "Hey, dude, like I got the little guy. He's going to night school. He's out of the military now. Like,
okay."
I appreciate the phone call, like letting me know, like, hey, you flew all the way over here. I'm not gonna be able to make it. Let's try and link up before you leave. But like, it's a lot of work, and he lives like 2 hours like that way.
Yeah,
so coming down to play games, like moving your kid, who I just know kids. They just don't sleep, and when they don't sleep, you don't sleep. So like,
yeah,
I don't blame it at all because I was like, oh yeah, just. They're kids. They sleep anywhere. No, they don't. Kids. If you have what do they call those decoy babies? Like Jordan. Jordan's he's a perfect baby. He can take it. You can take him anywhere.
We're talking about Fritz.
No, Jordan.
Fritz too.
Fritz too. Oh, okay. Fritz was here last night. Cole, he's off wakeboarding down there in Texas doing I don't know what. Melissa was here with Fritz.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, and Fritz is the most adorable little guy. He's carrying around this football, and that's his shtick. He wants to play. Yeah,
he's like one.
Yeah, he doesn't watch like Blue's Clues or like I don't know what they watch. Well, I know what my daughter watches, but I don't know what boys watch. But he watches reruns of playoffs. He watches the AFC championship game. It's frozen outside. There's 2 minutes left on the clock. Tom Brady's out there. I don't know. But so I was out there hiking the ball to him. He loved
nice.
It was
great.
I mean, he's like 1.5, right?
Yeah.
It was blowing my mind when he's like a little over 1.
Yeah.
But when she's telling me that all he wants to watch is football, I'm like, surely you're kidding. She's like, no, I'm not kidding. Like, we have it on constantly at the house just for him. Neither of them watch football really. And somehow this little 1.5-year-old just is obsessed with football. You should have seen him with this football. He wouldn't let it out of his sight.
Nope, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's hilarious. It reminds me of
it's too bad he didn't get many football genes. Neither of them are real big people.
Yeah, they'll have to break that to him.
Yeah,
he will be able to
kicker.
He'll be able to gut wrench and do a leg lace, but I don't know. I can work with him. He might be a safety,
right.
Maybe.
So.
I read an article a little while ago about revitalizing the dinner party, the weeknight dinner party.
Oh,
and really, what we've got here in Operation Game Night and our weekday games is like we are bringing back the dinner party. It might not be quite as fancy, where we're like standing around in our cocktail dresses and blazers and stuff, sipping wine and
sports coats,
discussing politics or whatever. But like, we have a middle of the week, something to break it up. We have good conversation. We eat a meal together, and then we gather around something central and we spend quality time together. Board game night during the week is the new dinner party. You heard it here first.
Wow.
What was the shtick of this?
How do we get on this tangent?
No. I mean, of that article, like what was
The article. It was just like
what was his point of view? What was it trying?
It's like the lost art of hosting a dinner party, and like we have kind of lost that.
Weekday.
Yeah, specifically weekday. Like a dinner party itself has to be a weekday. Otherwise, you're having people over for drinks and dinner and the weekend. He's talking about like specifically like the 1970s. You're inviting your neighbor down the street to come over for dinner and drinks and discussion on a weeknight. And we've kind of lost that as we've gone through and gotten busier and more digital. And really, I'm saying is that the modern day game night is the 1970s dinner party.
Yeah. Can you link to that article in the show notes for the listeners?
Oh, wow.
And me?
Yes, you got it. Check the show notes.
That's cool.
Check the show notes.
Yeah. And if you're a busy parent, like all of us have been / are, you know, and you still want to play a game every now and then on a weeknight without having to host a dinner party, and you got a spouse that will, I really am an advocate for something, something that's quick, because a lot of times your brain's fried at the end of the day. You don't want to sit down and spend 30 minutes setting up a game. Time's limited in the evening a lot of times. So, it's got to be quick. It's got to be comfortable. You don't want to push yourself too hard on a weeknight, unless that's what you're there for, which I might get back to. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ways to skin the cat. What we're saying. Just do what you want to do.
There's a lot of ways to feed the cat.
Oh, yeah. Why are we skinning cats? That's a weird.
Yeah, don't do that.
They feed two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
Well,
feeding everything.
All right. Are we going to go over the fence?
Yeah.
All right. Jared,
are you?
Start me off. Tell me what you've been doing outside of board gaming.
Well, outside of board gaming, I'm going on my world tour here. Spring break has arrived. I had it. Dang it. Going to go to all my favorite foodie spots while I'm here. So obviously I hit Slice 420.
Okay.
We are gonna get some. Where else are we going? Ooh, did you guys ever go to New Day Cafe?
Yeah.
With you?
That we gotta get breakfast at New Day Cafe. Going downtown to King Chef's Diner.
Oh yeah, big burritos.
Downtown Colorado Springs. Where else? Well, Walter's is now on my radar. Adri had mentioned it, but Walter's 303 Pizza.
Do yourself a favor. Do yourself a favor. The Keep Tahoe Blue Pizza, Keep Tahoe Blue, and the dry rub wings cannot be beat.
Oh yes.
Dang.
and the bee at the Broadmoor.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna throw a little bee on my shirt. I'm gonna be happy as a little clam.
Drink
they
a liter
have
of beer,
some amazing food there.
or a yard of beer.
I'm not a beer guy, but
I got a couple Coors Banquets cans that tell me different.
Oh,
I got him so
he's got receipts.
I got him excited about Coors with that Clear Creek Rocky Mountain water.
And then I do remember what I was actually going to do for my over the fence tonight. Wyatt Hendrickson is going to be wrestling for the national championship for the heavyweight weight division, heavyweight class. He's wrestling Gable Steveson, it's going to be a tough battle tonight. He's a former Air Force Academy graduate. He got an extra year of eligibility because of COVID, and he's at Oklahoma State now. They call him Lieutenant Hendrickson. So he's over there in Philadelphia tonight. So good luck to him. Well, by the time this airs, we will have known what the result is, and I hope that the Air Force Academy can add a little slice of national champion to their.
Would that count to them? Like,
I don't know.
Would they put that on their wall?
No, but maybe
they will put that on their wall. You better believe you.
You think so? Is that?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he salutes at the end of his matches, so that's kind of his thing. Oh. He does a backflip and a salute. So
either that, or they'll put him on the cover of Checkpoints.
Checkpoints.
This is the first year usually I go to nationals. My dad goes like every year to wrestling nationals, and usually I go meet up with him. It's good, like bonding father-son trip. This year I didn't go. Obviously got a lot going on, moving, freaking trying to find a job, everything else. And we're going back next week, jumping to my over the fence. We're going to Pennsylvania tomorrow to my cousin's has a wedding, and I got a lot of house hunting and, trying to solicit companies to hire me out there. So it's going to be a jam-packed week, but it's going to be cool. Kind of get my foot back in the door in Pennsylvania and, see what happens. But yeah, looking forward to it. Yeah.
Nice.
What about you, Travis?
So this past week, I did the German Armed Forces proficiency.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So,
you didn't drown, obviously.
Did not drown. First day was a 100-meter swim in your uniform. So you just had to use any stroke you wanted. You had like 4 minutes to do it. And I think I did 100 meters in like a minute 20, maybe. Definitely not my fastest. But then you had to, float and take your uniform off and then throw it out of the pool.
Oh.
And then day 2 was the German PT test. Or no, I'm sorry.
What does it consist of? Oh, wait.
Day 2 was shooting a M18 pistol, which was like you're just shooting at a target 25 meters away from standing, kneeling, prone, and you had to get as many shots as you could on target, just in the silhouette. And I got 6 out of 6.
Oh,
and then the next day was a German PT test, which consists of a shuttle run where you're like doing an up down between the down and backs.
Mm-hmm.
So you run down 10 meters, back 10 meters. You go all the way down on your chest, clap your hands behind your back, and then pop back up and do it again. And you run that 11 times. Way harder than it sounds.
It sounds
yeah,
horrible.
no, yeah.
There wasn't any part of me that thought that sounded like fun.
Nope.
Then you go over to a like pull-up bar, and it's a flexed arm hang for as long as you can. You just hold a chin above and a flexed arm hang for as long as you can. And then the last event is a 1,000-meter sprint. And the day that we ran it was like 20 degrees outside. It was miserable. That's probably why I'm not feeling well right now. But
1,000 meters is not really a sprint. That's a distance race. That's like half a mile.
Yeah,
that's more than that.
Yeah.
In track terms,
that a sprint.
In track terms, that is middle distance. Yeah.
I mean, he is the track expert.
I ran.
He's a fielder.
In high school, I ran the 400, and one time my coach wanted to put me in the 800, and I said, "Coach, like, what is the strategy to running an 800? I've never run an 800 before." And he said, "You run a 400, and then you do it twice, back to back." And that's kind of how the 1,000 was. I'm nowhere near good a shape as I once was, but that was like honestly the hardest part. And then the final day was a 7.5 mile ruck with a 40-pound pack.
This is quite the week.
It was quite the week, yeah. And so we started outside, and they picked a spot that was 3-ish kilometers away, and you went down and back with your 40-pound ruck. You had 2 hours to do it, and I did it in like a little over an hour and a half.
Nice.
I feel like you would be a rucking machine.
All right.
You got that big frame, long legs to just stride it out with the ruck.
Yeah.
Practicing with a 55, 50, 60 pounder or something?
Yeah, like I definitely went down in weight for the event, and that helped me. But I honestly wasn't like rucking every day. I got like a couple of sessions in just to make sure I knew what I was doing. But I never went above, 4.5 miles when I was practicing. 7.5 is quite a bit longer. So yeah, my feet were hurting. I was a little sore the other day, but I got my gold badge. They have 3 different levels. You have gold, silver, bronze. Got my gold badge. No big deal.
Gold
badge.
Yeah.
We're with a gold star member of the German military here.
Yeah. So
you get to wear it on your uniform?
What?
You get to wear it on your blues or anything?
Yes, get to wear it on my uniform. So get to flex on everybody, but it was a cool event. I mean, they had 350 people sign up for it. and I think only 120 got medals. So it was
Any medals?
cool.
What about how many people got gold medals?
I'd say maybe 150. No, if 120 got medals, I'd say like maybe 50 people got gold.
Wow.
We're with an elite freaking
And
civil engineer warrior here.
And there's probably not too many civil engineers that did that. I know civil engineers.
And it was like a joint thing, right? So like you had Army, Navy, Marines that all did it. Tons of Army privates, these young bucks that like grew up in the Army with a ruck on their back.
Already got Ranger tabs.
Any
yes,
Guardians out there?
Lots of Ranger tabs. I think there was 1 or 2 Guardians out there. Not many.
Represent.
But there's not a huge Guardian footprint out here, so
Yeah.
proportionally they showed up okay. And what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, when you're above the age of 35, you get like a bonus bump to all your scores. Okay. I am not above 35. I am about to be 34. So I'm like, I was doing it the hard way. I just want to have a little bit of credit that I did it the hard way. There's definitely a dip.
In the world, man.
There was a dip, like all the privates and stuff, these young bucks that have been like, that are fresh out of basic and are still in good shape. Lots of golds there. Then you had these like, lieutenant colonels that are definitely above 35. Lots of golds there. And there's this like bathtub effect between. So it was cool to see. It was cool to do. Lots of like Esprit decor where we are out there just kind of enjoying each other's company, training together, sweating together. So it was a cool event.
And then after you did your event, you had to go back to work.
And then I rucked 7.5 miles. I took my ruck off. I went to the gym and showered, and then I went into work to go brief a bunch of 06s. So
talk about morale.
It was a week, man. It was a week. So
dang. Well, thanks for showing up with the same host positive energy you always have, Travis.
Yeah, it's been a week. I'm doing my best. I'm definitely coming down with something. So hopefully by next week I am revitalized and ready to go.
Yeah.
Hey, can I pop over the fence real quick again?
Please.
Just want to give a shout out. I started listening to Paul Solomon, our guest. He's on the podcast Decision Space.
Yeah.
I started listening to that podcast and wow. I almost texted you guys and said we should probably just stop doing our podcast. Like those guys are intellectual about it. I mean, I hesitate to even tell our listeners about this because they might go listen to Decision Space and they'll be
maybe
like,
it's additive. It's not subtractive,
But perhaps if you like what we bring to the table, you might not like all the high-minded talk, but it's super interesting. Like they really talk about the mechanics of games and like get in the weeds of it. And it's a lot of fun to listen to. So check it out. If you like us, please continue to listen.
please, for the love of God.
Yeah.
Are you saying that I'm not very intellectual? Is that what you're trying to say?
Intellectual, Jared.
I need to tone down my party and turn up my my analytics.
Yeah, come on, give me one week. We should try and like just be really analytical about a game and just
talk about the minutia. Yeah,
yes,
I like it.
Yes, see here when you draw from the market pile, there's a 1 in 6 chance you could.
Hey,
is that what they get into? They get into like the stats of the decisions.
They get into a lot of stuff, but it's cool. It's more about the feelings of all the decisions, but
it fires something in your brain.
I like
they're doing something right.
And it's different than the other podcasts I've listened to.
It's kind of like that
in our podcast.
What parts of your brain are fired when you listen to this podcast?
Usually just embarrassment.
Oh my God.
As someone who listens to this podcast probably more than anybody else out there, I listen to this podcast probably 5-6 times an episode. So
I don't want to hear it. Like edit out all the beeps and squeaks. Travis, I just want to say I have not touched the mic once today.
You did bang the table a couple times. You banged the table a couple times. So that podcast kind of reminds me of like the Woodland War, the Root one, where they're like breaking down the different openings for the different classes and like, man, that stuff is so deep. It's like dissecting chess. Like I see you're doing the Flying Dutchman's porta potty. Like,
Yeah,
they
they
have like
talked
these
about
different names of.
they talked about fromage, and I
Oh.
was like, yeah, fromage is cool. Like you all place a piece of cheese at the same time. Boom, boom, boom. It's fun. It's quick. And they like talked about it for like 45 minutes. And like, I was like, oh my God, wow. I need to start doing some research because
I mean, it's pretty high on the hotness, isn't it? On the
fromage.
BGG,
Oh yeah.
or I mean, it's up there. I mean,
Well, they have the new Expandalone Fromaggio coming out.
I backed it.
All right, did we do it? Are we done?
I think we did it.
We did it. We're done.
I mean, there was a moment there where Travis almost wavered, and I think we got through it. I think we made it there.
I was struggling. So thank you for carrying the episode. Thank you guys for being here. I wish I was there with you guys.
We do
and
too.
Hopefully soon we can have another big game night, maybe on a weekday for Operation Game Night. I have been Travis, he has been Clay, and he has been Jared, and we are out.
Good luck, Wyatt.
You think he's listening?